All right, well, we're here to talk about the release product vision. And I'm Jackie Michelle, the release management senior product manager. And we have Orit, the senior manager of progressive delivery. I'll pass it over to Orit to talk a little bit about where we see our 3-year target for progressive delivery.
Thank you, Jackie. So progressive delivery is, I'm going to give a little bit of a background before we jump into the roadmap. It's the natural continuation of continuous delivery. So in continuous delivery, we basically have the potential to ship our software at any time, our software to production. And in progressive delivery, it kind of takes that and makes it smaller. So the idea is we all want to ship fast and very frequently. And the way to do that is by doing small increments of the code instead of these humongous releases where it just takes so long to develop something, to deploy it, and then to get feedback. In the agile world, we want everything smaller and faster and really fast feedback. So progressive delivery does exactly that. You take small bits of the code and you just take that through the pipeline until it gets to production. And that way it's more controlled. You get feedback faster. And also if there's some kind of problem, it's really easy to roll back and it's only a small portion of the code. So that's like on the tip of the iceberg what progressive delivery is. And this is, of course, a very popular strategy that people use today. The more people are adopting CI and CD solutions, they're going into progressive delivery solutions. So if I'm going to start going through our list of what we stated here that we want to do is enable common deployment targets that just work. So for those of you who are familiar with Auto DevOps, which basically you press a button and magically the pipelines appear and they do all the different stages of the DevOps. That's basically what we want to do. We want you to tell us we're deploying to Kubernetes or to AWS or to Google Cloud, to any one of those targets, and GitLab will just connect the dots for you. So that's the big idea there, where behind the scenes we connect everything and the users basically have very minimal configurations to do and we do everything for them. Of course, we know that it doesn't have to be a cookie cutter solution for everyone. So we're still going to leave the option to have everything customizable for specific use cases. But the baseline we're going to have for our common workflows, do everything for the user. And then if anything needs to change, anyone can do that at any given time. Support mature organizations. So we're heavily focused on enterprise customers and they need to navigate through cross-repository, multi-cloud, complex releases, a bunch of stuff. So we need to make this easy. And that's the idea behind that. You know, again, connecting things, making everything accessible, making things easy to find, easy to access is a main objective.
Release management has a couple of features that we're looking to ship in the next year that focus really on this cross-repository action. The first of that is supporting environments at the group level. Being able to have a user share a target environment across all their projects will be really empowering for them. Today, users are going into each single repository, setting up their target, sometimes upwards of 20 targets in a single GitLab YAML file. And being able to actually share that and reap the benefits of what something actually looks like in production is the first goal with environments. Another thing that we're looking to share across is this release association to group milestones. So like GitLab, we are currently only using group milestones for our gitlab.org project. And today we're unable to fully dog food the releases capability because we can associate it to group milestones. Another benefit of group milestones is being able to take this plan versus delivery comparison. When you can associate items to the group, you're able to look at all the projects in that group across the same single pane of glass, look at your timelines, and adequately compare what you've planned to what you've delivered in the releases page. Another interesting thing that we're trying to do to help support this multi-cloud and cross-group, cross-repository action is making rollbacks more discoverable, which is the last point on our section direction page. Going back to our 3-year target, the next item is about organically capturing changes to production for compliance events or audit events. This is really the heart of our release evidence category, and a couple of the features that we're looking to ship this year and into next year are sort of increasing the value of the release evidence object by adding more artifacts naturally inside that object. So the first one that we're looking to ship pretty soon in 13.1 is including test results within release evidence. Another aspect of release evidence is being able to empower different personas and users to use the tool and then organically capture those actions in the release evidence object, which is nicely complemented by improving segregation of duties for operators. This feature we're looking to ship at the back half of the year, and it's about creating this operator role that doesn't have access to the source code so that you can separate deployment from build jobs naturally inside of GitLab. This is really the feature that we're going to be uncovering, this simplification of a centralized release management side of GitLab. Today, many customers are facing release management across many different teams. Sometimes they're in a GitOps world. So GitLab needs to be a tool that can support all of those various roles, personas, technical aptitude and skill, and be able to effectively support that DevOps journey, not only in the web UI, but the API and YAML. A big piece of that is making sure that we can use the actual GitLab.yaml for release generation. So a big focus for this year is having the right tooling to make sure people can leverage the CI syntax to create a release organically, upload the relevant assets, and create that release tag on the releases page. And what's going to be really cool is that they can then specify the target environment as a part of this. And in the end, the releases page will be a great view for what your current production state looks like. Another neat feature about empowering users that are also leveraging the YAML file is being able to execute code from Markdown. This is the heart of our release orchestration feature for runbooks, being able to capture those series of tasks inside of GitLab and execute those files from Markdown will help build this seamless experience for runbooks and release orchestration in GitLab. This all will help feed our funnel of measuring post-deployment metrics. So Ori actually created this issue. I'm hoping to deliver this issue this year because the analytics team is swamped with value stream metrics. This is the release section of value stream. Being able to capture these metrics in GitLab and help organizations at the highest level, directors, executives, track their post-deployment metrics like frequency, time to restore service, and even failure rate, all feeds into the value that GitLab will empower people to manage too. Another management feature that we're helping to widen this web UI experience for all roles in GitLab is the director CI/CD group dashboard. Again, this will give people that power to look into their teams across all projects and see the key CI/CD metrics like percent of projects with releases in the groups, last pipelines in the group, duration of the 30 last pipelines in the group, just aggregating those various project metrics at that level. Going back to our 3-year targets, you can see that the last item is stop rollback deployments, which is really a part of the progressive delivery world too. So I'll pass that back to Ori.
Yeah, thank you. So this is actually something that we're currently working on and something that I'm super excited about. So the idea is that once you deploy something to production, it's really important to monitor what's going on there. And so together with our monitor team, we kind of created a view where you can see the alerts coming in on the environment page or on the pipeline. and really take action on it. So if you see a very problematic errors, let's say CPU usage over 90%, and you know that this is a problem and you want to stop your rollout, so we're going to give that option to stop rolling that out or to decide to even do a rollback. And you can choose whether to do this manual or automatically. So basically leveraging everything that's already supported by the monitor team today. We just downstream those alerts back to the release stage and take action on them. So we're really, really excited about that, and definitely connected to progressive delivery, since the whole point of progressive delivery is fast feedback and easy rollback. So there's another point that's not mentioned here that I do want to talk about, and that's advanced deployments. So we talked about the natively supporting the cloud when I started talking, and we talked about the post-deployment monitoring, but something that the team is really working hard on is advanced deployments, which is basically allowing users to support different kinds of development methods, whether it's canary or blue-green or incremental rollout or others. We're going to give the users the flexibility to configure different kinds of annotations to enable that, and to really give you the entire flexibility to decide what you want to do per deployment.
That feeds really nicely into this whole enable common deployment targets as well, given that people are using a wide array of multi-cloud providers. Enabling them to roll out how they want to, where they want to, is super important. There's also sort of our personal feature in the release management stage that I want to kind of highlight here, which is the pages functionality. This issue of supporting, as I scroll up, sorry about that, GitLab pages without DNS wildcard. So a big, highly upvoted issue is helping people set up any sort of deployment to pages. And this is one of those features that will help our customers complete that successfully. Another sort of fit and finish feature for pages is better redirects, being able to support, again, any sort of deployment methodology and redirection and experience that customers are trying to create with their static sites is fundamental to GitLab and the GitLab pages strategy. So these are two features that we're hoping to invest in the next 3 years to really build out that experience of any deployment to pages that you're looking for. Well, I think this wraps up our 3-year target for release. We covered a couple of plans in this year, into next year, and even the 3-year views. There's a lot of cool things that are going to help us compete well against some of the leaders in both CD, but also release orchestration and release automation. Stay tuned, and we'll be giving another update in another quarter or so.